Hot on the heels of their success with Shinobi, Sega once again enlisted the talented folks at AM1 to make yet another side-scrolling ninja platformer, this time for their powerful new System 18 arcade board. This new board allowed lots of extra background layers for parallax scrolling, as well as improved sound and increased color over the original System 16. This game was actually at the heart of a great childhood trauma I endured. I discovered it in the arcade at my local mall, instantly enthralled by its content. I was able to play it on 2 or 3 separate occasions, getting to mission 4-2 and nearly beating it. I knew that I was close and just a little more practice would definitely get me over the top. To my utter dismay, the next trip to the mall revealed that the arcade had replaced Shadow Dancer with another game, robbing me of any chance to complete it in the setting I held most dear. Shadow Dancer really doesn't connect to Shinobi at all in terms of story. The arcade attract mode never mentions anything about Joe Musashi or the terrorist group Zed from the first. This seemingly new guy is aided in battle by his canine companion, who you can command by pressing down and attack to help you subdue the weaker foes. The stage design and gameplay follows Shinobi nearly 1-to-1 otherwise, again using the Rolling Thunder mold for jumping to higher areas in the stage. Our new hero is wearing a white and red outfit, but is never actually named anywhere in the game. Instead of saving your clan's children like the first, this time the ninja must defuse bombs that are all tied to a time limit when you begin the mission. Projectile upgrades return in the form of flaming ninja stars, and the throwing star bonus stages make a return with a new viewpoint. The System 18 provides a few big upgrades to the visuals over Shinobi. First, there is now a fair bit of different background layers in action, giving each stage more depth and detail than anything we saw on Shinobi. There's also more detail in the sprites, which are better animated to boot. It's an all-around better looking game and has a number of design elements you'll recognize from Revenge of Shinobi. Stage 1 opens up in an airport that gives you lots of room to move around. This will allow you to become quickly acclimated to your moves and the feeling of jumping. There are also lots of chances to practice your timing with the dog, who can be hurt. If he takes damage, he will shrink to a puppy and be unusable for a while. Stage 1-2 takes place outside the airport amongst the planes themselves. Lots of vertical threats to worry about in the area, particularly ones you can't see until you jump and scroll the screen upwards and downwards. Use your dog when possible, and beware of enemies coming up from behind you. The boss of the first stage is a cakewalk. He just stands there throwing bouncing balls at you. These are not too dissimilar to the pattern that Mandara threw at you in the first Shinobi. Walk under the high ones, jump over the low ones. If you still have some ninja magic, go ahead and finish him off if you want to end the fight super fast. Stage 2-1 takes place in a junkyard that looks remarkably like the same stage from Revenge of Shinobi. Use your pet to take out enemies lying down, and watch out for those damn purple spawn ninjas. These bastards are predictable, but can kill you without actually attacking you. Stage 2-2 is a train ride that has multiple problem areas with shielded enemies, purple spawn ninjas, and guys that love to come up from behind you. Keep pushing forward, watch your back, use your dog, and try not to let all that gorgeous parallax scrolling distract you too much. There are 2 purple spawn ninjas right at the exit of the stage you need to be wary of. Stage 2-3 is on a bridge that overlooks water, and I love the effect here. It looks like a river or ocean with a moving current, and it really adds to the visual appeal. There is even movement in the sky that just makes the background go on forever. This area is large, wide open, and easy to navigate. You should kick its ass in no time. The boss of the level is some kind of truck shooting fireballs at you. It has a weak spot on its front that moves up and down. You can save that magic for your score, or let it loose to ease up the fight. Stage 3 is an enemy compound with multiple tiers that need climbing. You'll meet a new enemy here, a dude that throws fire bombs that burn the ground for a moment. The vertical scrolling will run you straight into enemies you didn't see, and knife-wielding scrubs are always coming at your back. The stage can be tough, and may force you to use some of your magic attacks. Take out the spawn ninjas as soon as they show up to avoid running into new enemies while those bastards are hopping all around the screen. I saved my magic until the end, and then dropped the last group of foes all at once. 3-2 is an underground area with loads of places you drop down into enemy attacks. You'll need to be patient here and remember where these enemies are, because you are sure to see a few deaths until you have the patterns down. Try and keep your dog part of the action consistently. 3-3 takes place in a sewer where not only you're dealing with your normal enemies, but also freaking alligators. Stay out of the shit brown water unless you like seeing the continue screen. There's a yellow spawn ninja at the exit you'll need to avoid. The boss is a female that is shielded and throws metal panels at you, sometimes high, sometimes low. Keep those ninja stars on her while her shield goes down to attack. Try to keep your eyes off her muscular buttocks, and you might just get past her without a problem. Four 1 is where Shadow Dancer goes from challenging to outright difficult. The cave you start in has holes you can fall into, enemies are placed above and below you perfectly to kill you, and those damn spawn ninjas are all over the place. This stage will likely take you out a number of times, but luckily is super short. Beware of the super cheap spawn asshole right at the exit on the vertical rise. Four 2 is where I stopped in the arcade all those years ago, unable to see any more of it. I was stuck here for good reason too, it's damn hard. You need to scale a waterfall that is loaded with enemies placed perfectly to either kill you or knock you all the way back down where the enemies freaking respawn. I saw countless deaths here back in the day, and even now capturing this gameplay, I spat out a few men trying to beat it. There are multiple spawn ninjas placed at the top of the waterfall that you'll be tempted to run from. Don't. Keep moving, get them together, and then either stand your ground or wipe them out with one of your magic attacks. 4-3 is the hardest mission in the game by a stretch. It's long, filled with enemies, tight areas that lead to quick deaths, and lots of spawn assholes just waiting to kill you. You'll slowly climb your way up a platform that turns out to be a launch pad for the space shuttle. Be sure to deal with the ninjas as soon as they spawn so you don't get 3 or 4 of them on top of you all at once. Take special note to avoid the flamethrower guys. They attack super fast and their reach is insane. There is yet another super cheap ninja spawn waiting for you at the exit. The last boss is a shielded enemy that is invulnerable for the beginning of the fight. Keep your distance, destroy her projectiles as they come, and wait for her shield to deplete. Once she's on her feet, you need to move in and attack her at close range. She'll block everything at distance. Her reach is pretty damn good too, so move in close, pelt her with stars as she tries to attack you, and then move away. Don't get greedy here. Keep a safe distance so you can quickly turn around to avoid her reach. If you have any ninja magic here, it helps a bit, but she's a tough one and can easily absorb its damage, as well as multiple hits from your stars. Once you get the feel for how close you can get, you'll send her head first off the platform and the ending is yours. It would be years later before I was able to sit and finish this game. It wasn't in the arcade setting like I wanted, but I guess I should be grateful that I still got a chance to see it through. Shinobi arcade fans will likely have enjoyed this game quite a bit, particularly because of its similarity to that game, but also its great challenge. Attempting a run without using your available magic takes a difficult game and turns it into pure hell. Those of you that can do it have my respect. Shadow Dancer would of course see mandatory home releases on Sega consoles, as well as computer versions by third parties. The Genesis and Mega Drive version was loosely based on the arcade content here, and had tons of changes to the gameplay, visual, stage design, and how you use the dog. The Master System edition was closer to the arcade content, but suffered huge cuts to the visuals and sound, and played quite a bit worse. Shadow Dancer would otherwise never see a 100% perfect arcade port on anything. When my playthrough was finally completed, I had to do it thanks to MAME once again saving the day and preserving an arcade classic that would otherwise have been lost to its fans. I'd love to see this make a Sega Ages showing. I'm Sega Lord X, thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you next time.